Good morning.
Good morning.
I'd like to open today's meeting of the Town of Hempstead IDA. We have a quorum. Would you please rise and join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, before we get on to any new business, do we have any public comment with respect to agenda items?
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Christopher Shishko, Gercio and Gercio, 77 Conklin Street, Farmingdale, New York. I represent the Valley Stream Central High School District and the three Valley Stream Union Free School Districts. On today's agenda, you have consideration for the Promenade 360 for an inducement resolution and also amending the lease agreement for the Valley Stream Green Acres Mall. I'd ask the board to consider, in the past, this board took action to rescind those tax breaks given to the mall. And it was based on, can you hear? Can you hear me? So this board took action to rescind those tax breaks on the mall's failure to produce sufficient jobs. The mall has advised that they have consistently failed to produce the jobs they promised. I would ask this board to consider that when you consider their request to extend the significant tax breaks that they've been given, and the fact that your own policy says that when an applicant fails to produce jobs, you have a clawback provision. So you're actually supposed to be taking money back, not giving them more tax breaks as a result of their failure to do that. Sure. Correct. I have the letter from Mr. Dan Baker. No, if you're not extending it, then they have no objection. They do object to the promenade.
Could you say it again? They object to what?
They object to the promenade on the basis, first, that the numbers you have are wrong. I looked at the numbers last night. You're basing it on a representation by their council that their taxes are approximately $40,000 per year. That's just not true. It's just factually incorrect. That is an assumption that they will prevail on a pending tax cert. That's exactly what happened with the Green Acres Mall. That never happened either. I would think that if you're going to take action, that you at least have the right numbers in front of you before you do it. I have those numbers, if anyone would like to see them.
You're correct that that is not what they're paying in taxes. However, it reflects the fact that if there was a cert, expertise, testimony from Herman Katz, who is an eminent attorney in this area, believes the taxes would be 40 when it was reduced to what it before the construction.
Wait, there's some confusion here. That 40 number represents vacant land.
Right.
Herman Katz is their tax certiorari counsel,
Right.
not an expert. That's who represents them. And I raised that because that's exactly what happened with the Green Acres Mall. And those cases, unless you know something that I don't, never resolved. They're still pending. They never settled those tax cert cases. They never got a judgment reducing that value. And in fact, the Green Acres Mall sold for $500 million 2 years before this agency granted them tax breaks based on a valuation of about $175 million.
Tax certiorari's on the Green Acres were settled for a period of years, but that's not exactly accurate, counsel. I'd also say if you have information that suggests differently on any of these things, please have it in writing.
Absolutely, I will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So do we know, was anybody going to represent the promenade today for the consideration of an inducement? All right, so just hold on one second, sir. Fred, should we continue with this, or you want me to jump back to the Village of Hempstead, the pilot reviews, or? Go ahead, sir.
Morning, my name is Vasilios Kefalas. I represent the Promenade 360 LLC.
You gotta speak a little louder, please.
My name is Vasilios Kefalas. I represent the Promenade 360 LLC on the project at 362 West Merrick Road in Valley Street. So this is an existing vacant commercial building that we are converting to a residential building of 15 apartments plus a small retail store in the front. I have a rendering of the final product when we finish.
Sure.
So we are converting the interior of the building. We don't expand outside the building's structure. It's a very simple, small project.
Question, Mr. Chairman?
Sure.
What's the value of the project, sir?
Altogether around under 5 million, 4.6 million.
4.6 they have.
And you said 15 units, 1.5, yes?
15 residential units and one commercial, a small retail shop in the front.
Thank you.
Any questions from the board? Everything is in order? You have your permits, building permits?
The building permits, we have filed for the building permits. We're waiting for the building permits to be issued. We have all the approvals. We have the approval of the Board of Trustees and the BZA, the site plan, and Nassau County. We're just waiting for the actual construction permit from the village.
From the village or the town?
The village. Yes, very much so.
All right, anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second. I'll take a vote. Mr. Bedford?
Aye.
Mr. Gresh?
Aye.
Reverend Millet?
Aye.
Flo Girardi's an aye. Mr. Kornbluth?
Aye.
Ms. Malato?
Aye.
Motion's passed. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Would it be possible for me to speak one more time? Because I was
Sure.
told something and I
Yep.
said I didn't believe that was correct. And
Yeah, just a little louder, please.
Sure. I said earlier that there was a request to extend the lease, and I was told that that's not true.
You're talking about Green Acres?
Correct. Okay. So there's a January 11, 2024 letter from Greenberg Traurig that says, additionally, the parties entered into other agreements, including a payment in lieu of tax agreement that provided for a 10-year term through December 31, 2026. Provided, however, that the lease can be extended for an additional 5-year period at the request of the company. At this time, the company hereby requests that the IDA extend the term of the lease, pilot, and IDA agreements. That's in your record. So you're not, I know I'm not allowed to ask questions, so I'm just presenting.
You can.
information. So, just so I can report to my clients that the pilot is not being extended beyond the original 10 years. Right.
Extension, and we're using the five-year
Right.
option.
So you're
We're not
making,
doing an extension of pilot, the five-year option was already in place. Is that your question?
an option is not a pilot. An option is the ability for you to grant 5 more years. Is that what you're doing? So it will be a 15-year pilot. It's either true or it's not. It will be a 15-year pilot as the result of the actions of the IDA.
What they did today was extend the lease.
Such that the pilot, or, here, you don't have to. The letter speaks for itself. You just granted 5 more years of tax breaks to them.
Being we're under new business anyway, consideration of an amended lease agreement for Valley Stream Green Acres, which was tabled from January 24, Green Acres Mall, Valley Stream. I make a motion. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Second by Mr. Kornblut. I'll take a vote. Mr. Bedford?
Aye.
Mr. Gresh?
Aye.
Reverend Millet?
Aye.
Flo Girardi's an aye. Mr. Kornblut?
Aye.
And Ms. Molitor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Okay, next item on the agenda, we're going to circle back. The Village of Hempstead, the 3-year pilot reviews.
As the board is, aware, every 3 years we have to review Freeport and Hempstead projects and do a comparison between what the taxes would be versus what the pilot is. I believe we have 4 instances in front of us where Hempstead was up for review on projects within the village. 3 of them, it looks like the village did not reassess once they were land only. So the pilot is currently a little or a lot higher in some instances. That's because the village most likely knew they were off the tax rolls and did not reassess. So the numbers they have are lower than the numbers we have. And then there's letters for each project in front of you for City Autoplex, Fat Henry, Hempstead 209, and these all went to the Village of Hempstead members that sit on the IDA board as well as the mayor. Oh, and CLLI, excuse me, that was the final one. And we were looking to see if the village had any questions or if we were just going to keep things status quo and moving along with the current pilots for those 4 projects.
And you got no input from the village?
No, we didn't hear anything. I think because since the projects weren't reassessed and they were at land-only value, they were a lot lower. If they, I guess, were to have been assessed and they felt like they were out of whack in some facet, they would have contacted us and we would have, started that dialogue. And it doesn't need a vote, it's just informational.
I just have a question, so what responsibility does the Hempstead IDA in terms of providing information for us in terms of the review? I mean, is this normal, or they?
Yeah, we've done this for the past few years since the Early and Hooper bill had went into effect with Freeport and Hempstead, and we haven't, as of yet, changed any pilots. The village normally will weigh in if they have any kind of issue, and we'll kind of look at it with them. But so far, everything has been pretty close in figures, or in this case, it's a little off because they haven't reassessed the land-only value.
There's been no major change, basically, in the tax structure or anything reevaluation, so we need not take an action, because there's been no alteration as to the status quo we adopted.
Okay, thank you.
Some fans out there.
My fans. As you recall, there was an actuary report done in conjunction with our audited financial statements, and the agency is coming up short on the post-retirement health benefit account. So in conjunction with the independent auditors, there'll be 2 budget line transfers from the fund balance, one this year and the other half next year, to make the account whole. And it's always going to be a number that we're chasing just based on inflation, the cost of health insurance, all those types of things. So basically, we're going to do a transfer this year. We'll do another large transfer next year, and then we should be closer to the number to do the smaller transfers on the ongoing basis. Questions?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Ayes have it. Next item, CEO's report.
So, we have one of them on today, obviously, the Promenade is on at the end of the last page, and the Bristol is looking to, put a substantial amount of money into their nursing home in, was that Limbrook, right, Mike? Limbrook, and, assisted living project, and, everything else is status quo. As an ancillary, I just mentioned that, you may recall that this beautiful situs that we're working in, we committed to provide good partnership with the town, and we said we would pay for all of the improvements. And they've done a lovely job, and we are still awaiting. I spoke to the chief of staff last week, because we need a contract, we need a bill for the items that have been done. We don't want it to look as if we are reneging, which we are not. We're anxious to pay. Chief of Staff understands that. He's hopefully lighting a fire in the town attorney's office to get that done, and whatever else was expended. I just want it on the record so it's understood that we have not in any way allowed this to sit. We're trying to pursue it. Be happy to anything on executive director's report, whatever it is, I'll be happy to answer.
So the contractor didn't bill us?
The answer?
You're saying the contractor did not bill us?
The town didn't do it, a lot of the work was done in-house, so obviously they'll figure out, how much employee time, Hempstead time was expended, and also obviously they provided, bought the chairs that we're sitting on, and the table and chairs,
No.
as well as the fine work there, so
Right.
we'll wait for the bills.
So it's just a work order.
Contractors all the time.
It was a work order
Yes.
submitted to the,
No questions? Next item, synopsis of the 2023 annual compliance status.
This is something we provide every year. It just basically summarizes all the information that's on the enormous annual report that you receive every year. And there's no vote required, it's just informational.
No questions?
no questions.
Okay, next item, employment shortfalls.
Again, as this is the last piece of compliance, we track employment, obviously, it's very important. And you have in your packets a list of projects that did not meet their employment threshold. In the past, we have set up committees, or a committee to address this issue, so that's at your pleasure. There's not a particular vote right now, but if you want to look at the employment shortfalls further, you would set up a committee to do that.
Well, in the past, if they were if they were over 10%, the shortfall, I don't say brought them in, but brought them in and tried to figure out what was going on.
Yes, that's true. In the past, we've brought in projects to, to embellish on their, the letter that they submitted. The letters are all in your packet, offering explanations of the shortfalls. Obviously, the Valley Stream projects, where we've just corrected those issues. There are a few that are very minor, and there are a few that maybe you'd like to have someone come in and talk to you.
I mean, their correspondence to us in response to our inquiries with respect to the shortfalls indicate that COVID still remains, and I think all of us in the marketplace recognize that there is still problems as a result of that crisis period that this economy and the world went through, as well as, and I guess it's a footnote to that, the other major problem is getting parts, which I also, if you're in the marketplace, you know is a real concern. Valley Stream, you should just mention that they lost Sears and Kohl's, and they are getting two new businesses there. ShopRite is one, I'm not sure what the other one is, but they are looking to address that shortfall. Obviously, you want to see them fail. You've already extended to extend the lease, so.
So I would liken that to when pilots have shortfalls and they show us that they've been actively trying to fire people. And being that it's a problem getting any kind of help for them. You know, we forgive them, for lack of better terms, because they can't find them. So, with that being said, the same thing with Green Acres. If they have an employment shortfall because business is closed, they're actively trying to recruit, they're actively trying to recruit tenants. So, I think we have to give them that lead.
We'd like to do it, Stafford agrees fully. I think our feeling would be, let's give it 2 months. We'll put calls in or ask for a further written update as to the status, to make sure that they are making good on their promises. They seem to be trying. Yes, sir.
Anything else from the board? Comments?
No comments.
Okay, next item on the old business. Discussion and consideration of a trust account for post-retirement health insurance benefits anticipated in February. John, do we have to do that during our executive session?
No, there's no update at this time. We've been working with our tax and benefits teams to try to find a solution to this. There's no sort of off-the-shelf solution for this. This is sort of the first of its kind for an IDA, and we're still trying to put the puzzle together on how to overlay all of the various tax and benefit implications to create a solution for this.
Do you have any idea of a time frame as to when?
So basically what we're in the process of doing now is we sort of eliminated a few possible solutions. And I have a call later this week to try to sort of build on that and see if there's one. We may, depending on the advice of staff and the board, have to seek a comptroller's opinion on a confidential basis to see if a trust can be formed by an entity with respect to that. There's no clear guidance at the moment.
Well, do we know what do other IDAs, for lack of better,
There is no solution for other ideas in this case. This would be the first of its kind, which is why it's been a bit of a difficult task to try to get
No questions.
All right, so, I assume that next month you give us another update. Next item on the agenda, reading and approval of the minutes of the previous meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we waive the reading of the previous minutes and adopt the minutes of March 19th, 2024.
I'll second the motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Report of the treasurer.
Mr. Chairman, the financial statements, expenditure list, March 13th, 2024 through April 9th, 2024. I want to commend the committee once again for doing a great job. No issues.
Okay, next item, committee updates. We had committee meetings this morning. No questions from board. John, do we need executive session?
As I said, no.
You mean don't? Yeah, make a motion to adjourn today's meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Meeting adjourned. Thank you. And there is no LDC meeting.